Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beeman of BLS here and welcome back to Train Sim World 2 Spirit of Steam. So this is a follow-on from our part 1 review of the DLC pack which we did a few days ago on the release date of this pack. And obviously we had a look at the Stania 8F and the tutorials and intros of the DLC, and obviously I shared with you my first look and first thoughts of the DLC when I first set my eyes on it, basically. So today we're going to be looking at the Stania Jubilee locomotive, which is the other locomotive that comes with the DLC, and basically we are going to discuss my final thoughts of the product and what I think to it overall. So we're going to be taking the 803 service, Manchester London Road to Liverpool Lime Street. So we'll be driving a stopping service from Ditton to Liverpool Lime Street. And basically we'll see what I think about it. So let's get into this and get driving our train. Obviously we'll take a look around the Jubilee before we depart. So I have driven this a little bit more since our last video. There we are, begin. Okay, so here is our steed. This is 45703 Thunderer, which is interesting. And this is going to be a stopper, so our stopper head code is 1 lamp at the top. So yes, the Jubilee model itself, very nice indeed. As I said before in the previous video, I think the models are spectacular in this. They really have done such a fantastic job on the modelling of the locomotives and rolling stock in this DLC pack. I also think that the route is alright. I mean, if we look here around, we've got some fields and there's quite a good view here at Ditton. We also have, some traffic going over the road and stuff like that. And yeah, Ditton isn't actually looking too bad. But yeah, so as I said, I have driven this DLC a little bit more since our previous video, and I have noticed, since driving it more and taking a look at it, looking at it a bit more, I have noticed more things that are wrong with it and more things that are missing. So we'll go through those as we proceed. So without further ado, let's unlock our doors here at Ditton and let our passengers aboard. So yeah, so the cab is pretty much identical to the 8F cab. There's not really any difference here. Again, the whole general cab looks a bit mediocre compared to what we've seen before in TS Classic. As I say, I would like to have had better texturing here. I just think the texturing is a bit crap compared to other things that we've seen, some of the Bossman Games products we've seen in TS Classic. So yeah, cab, meh, it's okay, but it's not the best we've ever seen. I love how you can walk around and everything though. That's really cool, and and opening up the doors and things like that. Detail on the Mark 1 coaches are very nicely done, but I believe these are, well, some of them are recycled from the West Somerset and just been reskinned. This is the new coach though, the first class coach, because we've never seen this before. This is a brand new model which we hadn't seen previously in the West Somerset DLC. And I do think the overall interior, it looks okay, but again, texturing, especially on the roof here, it really does look a bit bare. It's very, it's, I don't know, it's just, it's very bland. There's just not much texturing going on here. It's a bit, on the roof it's just a bit, well, it's not the best, is it? And also, we don't really have a mirror here. It would have been quite nice to have an actual mirror and stuff. The moquette on the seats are okay, but yeah, I'm not too sure about the texturing, in all honesty. I've seen better. And obviously here we've got it's basically a West Somerset coach just reskinned into like different moquette and stuff like that. Sadly we can't open up the windows at the top here. It would have been nice if we could actually open up these, but you can't. So that's just It's unfortunate. One thing I will show before we do go though is the brake coach. I did notice, and I really liked this. So if we head over to a brake coach, if we do actually have one on this train, I hope we do, because otherwise that would be illegal not to have a brake coach on this train. Here we are, so this is the brake coach. Okay, and the guards compartment is actually pretty cool, because watch this. This is something we haven't seen before. So this is a cage, and we can actually open and close the cage where the luggage would go in. No, get lost. Oh, what's happened there? Okay, my mouse has gone spastic. Okay, there we are. So there we go. Yeah, so that's a really cool feature. We also have the guards compartment interior. We can turn the light on in here. Yeah, and also we can turn the coach lights on or off if we so please, which is a nice touch. Also got the handbrake, so you can sort of be the guard here. If this was multiplayer, you can play as the guard, and that would be really cool, wouldn't it? I do seriously think that they need to hurry up with multiplayer, because that is something that I know that a lot of people would love to see in this game. Modelling of the people, the locos and stock get more attention than the people, to be honest. Like I say, this geezer here, look, he's got like bits missing in his hair, which is a bit weird. He obviously has some sort of scalp problem. Yeah, people not great modelling wise. It's nice to have them in the 50s gear and everything, but they're not like the best thing you've ever seen in games. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's actually drive the thing. We're gonna lock the doors and get ourselves underway. I'm just gonna put my scenario marker on, because I actually don't know this route very well, so I'm going to put my objective marker on and apply that. There we go. Okay, so we're going to stop at location Allerton platform 4. So let's release our brakes. Our small injector is fully open already. That's interesting. That's all good. We'll put it into forward gear. Something I have noticed here as well, and this is really actually kind of annoyed me, is the cylinder drains are actually the wrong way round. So that's closed. Open should be that. And then that's closed. So they've got this the wrong way round, which is annoying. But yeah. Anyway, let's carry on. Oh Christ, we're wobbling a bit there, aren't we? Yeah, we still have the problem with the firebox door just randomly opening and closing whenever it feels like it. And that's, again, something that annoys the crap out of me, to be honest, with this DLC. I really wish they would fix that, and I hope they do it in the future. But see, it just keeps doing this, and it's annoying. Something I have noticed about the route is we don't actually have any yellow speed signs. Like the yellow metallic speed signs that tell you what speed you should go. We have none of that, and that's annoying. That's a feature that should be here, but we don't have it. So as I said, after driving these things, after a little while you start to realise what's missing. Bits and pieces are missing. Like, the way this drives, it doesn't have an advanced steam chest, and that's something that people would have wanted in this DLC, because we've had it before in TS Classic, so why haven't we got it here in Train Sim World? I don't know. As for the steam effects, as I say, they're not the best. I said this in the previous video we did of my first look, sort of part 1 of this review. Steam effects, meh, I'm not too sure on. Especially when they're shooting out of the front of the cylinder cocks. it looks a bit like candy floss or cotton wool buds just shooting out. It's I don't know. It's not the best in the means of effects that I've seen before. They've tried, but it's not quite there. I think, you know, they've really tried with this DLC, but there is aspects of it which are just not right. Also, something else that has occurred to me is when you're in the camp and you blow the whistle, as you can see, steam is clipping through the cab. Now, we shouldn't have that. In real life, steam doesn't clip through the cab when the whistle goes off. That's not right either. One thing I have noticed though that they have added in this DLC sort of recently is the sparks on the wheels. So when your wheels slip, sparks come out on the wheels. So they've actually added that in now, which is a good thing that they did. So we're just gonna have a little look at these animals over here and just see what. Yes, they look a little bit TS Classic like. It would have been nice to have them modelled maybe a bit better and maybe even animated, just to, you know, add to the detail of this game, because it is supposed to be like the most detailed train sim. So the route's performance, it's not as good as other routes in TSW. It seems to have frame rate spikes quite more than any other route actually in the game. So frame rates on this route can be seen as very bad at times. So yeah, see, we get the odd spike, and it's something we don't usually get in other routes on the game. Bear in mind, I have a computer which is worth about £2,000 and it's running quite poorly, so that does sort of tell us something and tell us that it's not right. Yeah, so I'm glad they've added the line side fencing. That's something that I'm glad to see that they've done, because in previous videos we've seen that they didn't have any line side fencing and it looked a bit pants. So I'm glad that they actually added that in sort of prior to release. Grass texturing, it's not too bad. It looks a bit. Look, you see, like this space here isn't filled; it's just nothingness. It's very patchy. It's not like continuous. I don't know if that's intentional, or it's supposed to be like that. But yeah, I do find that it does look a bit patchy. And this sort of, the blend of the ballast and this texture here is just not very good, is it? I mean, the ballast you can clearly see is brighter than the ground texture is here. Sounds, they're all right, but they're not loud enough. It's like when you're on full reg with a steam loco, obviously you get a very, very loud bark in real life. These, how should I put it, are kind of flat. Like you put it up to full reg and you don't get that massive oomph like you would expect. I don't know if that's because it's been recorded on. Obviously, most of the sounds are recorded from 48305 on the GCR, so I don't know whether, you know, maybe they didn't open it up fully and they couldn't really get that sound as such. But like I say, it just could have been. It would have been nice if they raised the volume slightly, especially when you're full handling these steam locos, just to give that oomph, that power, that sense of power. Both steam locomotives sound very similar. The only difference is that the Jubilee has a 3-cylinder beat, and the 8F has obviously, it doesn't have that, so. It's cool to see the range of wagons and stuff in this yard over here, I must admit. That is a nice touch. How we've got like loads and loads of bits and bobs in the sidings, that's good to see. Although some areas like this here, as we can see coming up to our left here, it does look a bit bland there. There is spots on this route that does look a bit bland. Okay, so we are coming into our station now, so we're going to slow down. Another thing is, as well, to get these things to sort of slow down how you want them to, you have to sort of dump the brakes to actually get them to start responding. Responding. You have to sort of dump the brakes. It's interesting. That's not right. Realistically, it's not right. I mean, look at this. We've just stopped now. Look, the brake isn't releasing. But why have we done this? Oh, we've got another Jubilee coming into the station there. Look. But yeah, look. See, why have we stopped? See, I can't get moving now. It's like it's just died, look. Oh, you know what? We'll just go open the doors. It ain't perfect. It ain't perfect by a long stretch. Also, notice how when we stop, the pressure just goes straight up to the red, and then we start blowing off. It is quite a common occurrence that we blow off. I bet we start wheel slipping now, you what? See, look, we've now completely stopped. And I can't seem to get us moving again. And this is another thing I've noticed with this DLC. The steam locos tend to wheel slip in places they shouldn't. I mean, this is uphill, so it's not a very good demonstration here. But it does. They do tend to slip quite a lot, even when you're just on flat ground or on a downhill gradient. And that to me just isn't right. I think they slip too much. I mean, look at this. It's almost like we're just stuck on something. Look, why is it not moving? It's really starting to annoy me now. There is no reason why this should be stuck here. Oh, there we go. My brake pressure's just decided to go up. So my brake pressure was down, even though I had it in released. And that firebox is just so irritating, that crappy opening and closing doors. So did you see that? It glitched there, so I was in released, it wouldn't move, and then I literally just had to tap the button to release it again, and then the brake pressure just went woof up again and released. There is certainly some issues here in the means of how the locos act. I'll tell you what though, I do give them credit for putting details in the gardens, like these closed hoists and stuff like that, you know. We've also got traffic on the roads, which is a nice touch. It's a cool bandstand there. It's like a little park sort of thing. But yeah, I'll give them credit for putting like details in the gardens, like, you know, the clothes and the sheds and stuff like that. Garden sheds. Oh, we are coming into another station, it seems. Building site over there. I do love the whistle. Right. Let's see if we can actually get moving again once we stopped here. See, look, my brake's gone again. Look, I put in released. I'm in released. Okay, there we are. What we'll do is I'll get a quick screenshot for our thumbnail as well. There we go. That'll do. Okay, so we're in release now, so we should depart. Okay, look, our brake pressure's coming off this time, so I don't know what was going on before. Seat out. We're getting slipping again. Bear in mind, I'm only on 20% reg. Look, it's not like I've gone and, like, whacked it open. This is the thing that annoys me. On 20% reg, you shouldn't be slipping like that. And it's like, okay, let me do a little demonstration here. Let's stop, okay? Right. So, I'm going to put it, literally, the reg up the tiniest amount, okay? So, closed. Boom. Oh look, we're moving on 5% reg. 10%. Woof. We're off. And apparently when you put it up to 20%, we slip. Well, on a standstill, obviously. That shouldn't do that. So as I say, you know, at first, when I did my first look of this, I must admit I was very excited. I liked what I saw. I love the fact that we've got trains, you know, steam trains in Train Sim World finally. And I think it's fantastic that they've done it and they've answered the call. They've given people what they want. But I do think they should have had a little bit longer on this DLC. They said they'd done it for a year and a half. They could have done this. They could have had longer development time. You know, they could have an extra half a year could have perfected this. They could have ironed out all the bugs. You know, that stupid opening and closing firebox door, the physics, the smoke effects. They could have ironed all of this out and got it spot on if they just gave it another half of a year. You know, just to fix those things. But they didn't. Because again, you know, with D2G, it's like they just throw stuff out and just, in my eyes, sort of have that thought of, oh, well, it's good enough, let's get it out. And that's not the kind of attitude you need and nor want in train sim development. It's, you need to get it as accurate as possible, because, you know, we're here for a simulation, we're here for a simulation of real life, you know? So I've noticed a brake van in the side in there, so when we stop in this station I'm just going to quickly show you the brake van. I have had a look at it prior to this video, so I'll show you what that's like. Probably not the best of stops here. See, look, we're slowing. The physics on this are questionable. However, I do like how the smoke goes under the bridge and it's not going through it. That's something we've wanted in TS for a while, isn't it, really? Okay, so we'll open up our doors and we're just going to quickly take a look. Oh, it's not going to close the doors, oh well. We're going to take a look at the brake van, which I've seen in the yard over here. Is there any collectibles around here while I'm at it? Because I know you have to like fill coal sacks and light blazes and place the posters down and stuff like that. It's always good to look out for stuff. Oh look, we can walk over the mounds. Whee! Okay. It's this brake van. So this is the brake van that comes with the pack. Obviously I've shown it off in our previous video and I do quite like it. I like how we've got, you know, the texturing on here, the bumpy textures. But if you have a look inside, look, it's really cool. And you can light the furnace, which is a lovely feature, as you can see. And we can also operate the handbrake as well. So you can do... There is some nice playability inside this brake van. And we can also do the door latch, look, even if the door's closed. But I mean, it's pretty pointless, to be honest, because you can just open and close the door regardless of if the door is, the latch is down. You know, there's no difference there. But yeah, so that is basically the brake van. That's what there is. You can climb up on the platform like this, look. We can also... I believe we can put the lamps on. Yeah, there you go. You can put tail lamps on. See? That's cool features, isn't it? Putting the lamps on in all the areas of the brake van, which is cool. So yeah, so that's the brake van really. That's and you can also obviously sit in the seats in there too if you really wanted to. So that's obviously showing off the brake van, which obviously I did say I'll show off the interior in the previous video. The wagons do look very smart. The texturing is lovely on them. Nice high definition visuals. As I say, the overall modelling is fantastic, and in all honesty, I think that they've focused more on the models than the actual drivability of the engines and the way it acts. That's my opinion of it. Okay, so let's depart now. I've got doors. See, we're off on 10% reg, so the tiniest little bit of regulator on what is a 5 coach train, and apparently we slip at 20% regulator on a 5 coach train, which just doesn't make any sense, to be honest. Like the 8F, we do have opening and closing windows in the cab, although we can't open them while we're sat here. But the interesting thing is, if we get up, we can close them. But then if we sit in the driver's seat, they automatically open themselves, which is odd, but yeah. Out of both the models that come with the game, I think I prefer the 8F over the Jubilee, but it still does look lush, I must admit. I'd say the route, performance-wise, not the best. The look of it, it's good in areas, but quite bland in others. It does give you that sort of sense of feel of going back in time, and that is something that is good about it. And I said this in my last video, it's nice to have something different. It gives you the feel of the 1950s and what it would have been like. And I think that's something that they've captured nicely, and that's something that's good to see has been captured. I have overshot that slightly, but there we are. Nope, we've opened up the wrong side. There we go. See, it looks awfully bland around here, look. And bear in mind that is quite near the track. It's awfully bland in these spaces over here as well. See, there is areas where you think, oh, that is quite bland. Thing is, anything you can see from the track is quite important. Let's get a shot of it like leaving from here or something. Oh, look at that. Bear in mind we had the sander there. I bet if I had the sander turned off, we would have slipped out of that station. There we go, firebox doors opening and closing again. I don't seem to have a fireman this time. If you want to see the AI fireman in action, see my last video on this and I'll talk about it. Dirty, that station, isn't it? Was it disused or something maybe? But here you see we've got frame rate spike again there. It's quite more prominent on this route than it is any others, as I said. We are coming up to a 20 limit. I wasn't paying attention, so we are overspeeding over this junction slightly here. We're passing an ATF. Fancy. So these engines, for anyone who's wondering, because I know that a lot of people do ask the question, and I know that we all want it to happen, and I hope DTG end up doing it. But basically, the question that people keep asking is, do these steam locomotives work on the West Somerset Railway? They do, sort of. You have to put them in the scenario planner and select off the rails mode for them to work. But they don't work in the timetable mode on the West Somerset yet. DTG apparently are hoping to do that in the future, so hopefully we will get the steam locos on the timetable mode of West Somerset, because obviously that would be great, wouldn't it? But let's hope that happens. But for now, you can make your mini quick drive scenario things with them on the West Somerset via the scenario planner, so you can do it that way. So yes, you can sort of drive them on the West Somerset, but not in the timetable mode, which is what most people would like to see. Only time will tell if we'll get that chance to run them on timetable mode, but I believe, as far as I'm aware, DTG do have plans to do that in the future. Here we are, Edge Hill. I must admit, the coming into this station does look pretty awesome, doesn't it? I mean, this is quite a nice big station. I do quite like this. I believe Edge Hill is where the loco depot is as well. Don't quote me on that, I can't really remember. I've done little bits and pieces of this route here and there, but I haven't actually driven the whole thing or had a proper look at it yet. It's sort of still quite first for me. What we'll do is when we stop here, I'll get out and we can have a quick look around this station. There we go, that's not too bad of a stop. Cops. Yeah, okey-doke. Let's get out and take a look. So, Edge Hill. Let's see if we got any collectibles at Edge Hill here. Because obviously, you have to stick the posters on and stuff like that. There's probably going to be a poster around here somewhere. Oh, yeah, we've got to fill the fire buckets as well. That's something else we've got to do. Is there any coal sacks on here? Doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, look at that 8F over there. That's cool, doesn't it? Yeah, so Edge Hill is one of the big stations on the route. Oh, we've got a train coming in. Look at that. Let's turn our F1 off for this. Another Jubilee. It's nice to see a bit of AI traffic. Although one thing I have noticed though with this route is on a big station, obviously on a big station like, you know, Crewe and Liverpool Lime Street, you would expect it to be busy basically a majority of the time, right? I just jumped over the track there as you saw. Oh, there's a poster. Okay, so you would expect it to be busy all the time, right? All through and through, especially at like something like, I don't know, 3 o'clock or something. But I have noticed, like, and bear in mind, I was on this game sort of wanting to do a bit of train spotting at 3:30 in the afternoon in game time, okay? So I thought, Crewe and Liverpool Lime Street, great stations to do it because obviously they'll be really busy. It was completely dead at 3:30. Now, that's something that is a shame, and I think that they need to do better on in TSW is the traffic. Because, you know, at 3:30 at Crewe and Liverpool Lime Street, it would be very, very busy, wouldn't it? Usually. But it wasn't. So, yeah, it's not... It's a bit of a letdown in that sense, isn't it? I have noticed though that Steam Loco hasn't even put on power as it left. It's literally just idling out of the station. Interesting. See, that's something that they should have done there. That they've made it so it doesn't seem to be powering out of the station. It just idles out. That's interesting, isn't it? So how long have we actually got left of this journey? Because we have reached almost 45 minutes of this video, and that is about the same amount of time as what we did our first part of this review of the Spirit of Steam DLC. I don't really want to go over and make this too long again. So I think soon we shall leave it, and I will talk about my thoughts and opinions of the overall DLC. Okay, so we've got Liverpool Lime Street next. That's like our final stop. So we'll go there and then I'll talk about it. We'll do a full trip. Why not? Okay. Steam cocks open. Off we go. One thing I do like about this is the cab sway. They have done a nice job on in the means of how we have a lot of swaying and moving about, because that is realistic for steam engines, because they are very yeah, we should be far from Lime Street actually. Yeah, because we're sort of in the tunnel sections here. All downhill here, so I need to take care of my speeds. Seems to be some odd audio going on here. Is anyone else noticing that odd audio? Strange. So as I say, you know, it is not perfect. They could have spent a little bit longer ironing out some of these bugs that they have on this route. You know, a little bit more time in testing, I reckon. How it looks coming into Liverpool Lime Street, though, is spectacular. Now, the modelling on Liverpool Lime Street is beautiful, as we'll see when we come into it. I mean, just look at this, the beautiful canopy over the top there. We really have done a good job on the modelling front of the station. But as I say, you know, look at all these tracks, like thousands of tracks in the station, and there's hardly any passenger service. Very dead. There needs to be some more services in here. And it's, well, mind you, it is early in the morning, so I suppose you can get away with it. But, you know, that's what it's like most of the time, even at afternoon. In the afternoon, even. Want to go on to no reversal. We want to stop it. There we are, mid gear. There we go. Yeah, service complete. Hey, there we are. How do we do? Is that a gold medal? Well, to be honest, gold medals seem to be common with this game. Okay, continue. Return to free roam. There we are. Okay, so let's leave our train and take a look round Liverpool Lime Street. So this is Lime Street. I have got most of the collectibles around here already because, as I said, I was hanging around here hoping to have a good train spotting session, and I didn't really because there wasn't much going on. But yeah, it is a very nicely modelled station. There's lots to see around it, a lot of Easter eggs. You know, we've got posters and the clock. We also have destinations and bits and pieces. It gives this nice 1950s feel here. But as I say, the main issue I have with it is the lack of busyness at this station. So as you can see, I lit the blaze here. So this is one of the collectibles here is to light this blaze down here. So this is the water crane. I haven't actually used this yet on a Steam Loco, but basically what you can do is you can pick up the hose, look, and then drag it over anywhere, which is pretty cool. And then we can move the arm like so, and that's how we would fill up the tender. So I haven't actually shown that off. Whether I'll show that in a video, I do not know. I don't know whether I'll do another video on this because I've pretty much covered everything of this DLC. Apart from that. So yeah, so I think we'll leave the video here, and I'll put my thoughts and opinions across to you guys right now. So what do I think to it? Okay, so the route it's quite nice. It's a bit bland in areas, but then in others the detail is spectacular, and they've done a really good job. Something that's really irritating about the route is the lack of speed signs. So you don't actually see any speed signs or speed boards, which is annoying because that's vital on on any railway, you know. So how would the driver know what speed to go, you know? it's interesting. I don't get why they haven't modelled those. Steam locos look fantastic, modelling wise, fantastic. Rolling stock, brilliant. I can't fault the models. But the cab interiors, again, very bland. Not the best we've seen in the world in the means of train simulators. Um, yeah, the way the Steam locos act, I do think that they could have looked into it a little bit more. I find that the Steam locos tend to slip um, when they shouldn't. Like I say, they just sort of seem to slip even on flat ground or going downhill. And on a 5 coach train, I mean that's just not right. And especially on 20% reg, they shouldn't be slipping. The only time they'll be slipping is if you literally just wallop the reg up and stuff like that. Then you're gonna slip, aren't you? Or if you go a little bit too far with the reg. But at 20%, definitely shouldn't be slipping. That's just not right. It's on a 5 coach train. Another thing is as well, when you're on like a 10 coacher of vacuum brake stop, you literally you have to literally dump the brakes to get it to start to actually apply the brakes. The brakes aren't perfect, and as we saw at the beginning of this video, I had some issues with the brakes not coming off for some reason on the Jubilee, so it's all a bit hit and miss on the driving front. And we don't have the simulated steam chest, which we've seen before, and that's a big letdown because that's something that a lot of us would have wanted. There is a slight delay when you put the regulator up, but it's not enough. It's very arcadey, and it's not like what we've had before with Bossman Games products. So overall, the DLC is average. I like it. I love the models. There is aspects I like, but again, there is aspects that I really dislike. And probably the biggest flaw with this has to be the firebox problem, where it just keeps opening and closing randomly. That's really annoying. And yeah, and obviously the driving front as well. So it's okay, but it's not perfect. I think they should have had a little bit more time on developing this, another half of a year or so, just to iron out the bugs and problems. Hopefully they do some patches in the future where they fix some of the issues that this DLC has. And hopefully we'll get the Steam locos added to the timetable mode on West Somerset. That would be really cool, so you don't just have to do the scenario planner. Another thing that is annoying about this DLC is the Livery Editor. The limitations on making reskins for the steam locomotives. You can't reskin the front of the smoke box. You can't put the numbering on the smoke box number plate, and that's a problem because then you basically can't make any accurate reskins apart from WD Black or LNER Wartime Black, and that's really annoying. I might do another video showing off the Livery Editor and showing off the watering stuff, but we'll see. However, if you do want to see the Livery Editor in action, we have actually done a live stream, and we did show it off sort of towards the end of the video. So if you want to head over to that and take a look, then you go right ahead, and then you can see our issues with the Livery Editor. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this BLS review video with me, Samuel Beeman. Comment, like and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page and Discord. It's all going to be linked in the description of the video, as well as our website. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.